Hello, I'm Mario Petrucci, founder of Writing into Freedom. In science, what is the speed of sound? And we know the answer. We've measured and remeasured it. But what if we ask, what is the speed of silence? Sometimes our lives can hinge on asking a strange or unusual question like that. Over the years, I've worked successfully with hundreds, if not thousands, of writers, engaging with them to enrich and enliven their writing lives. Today, I have a very special question for you. Is there something that we're missing in our writing lives? A question that we aren't asking? Now, if you're here for the usual, maybe I'm wasting your time because I'm here to deal with the unusual, the thing that you might be missing that could make all the difference in your writing life right now. And once you see it, even though it's revolutionary, it's so simple and hardly anyone is talking about it. So what is it that we usually do as writers? What do most writers do? Well, you have an experience or an insight and you want to share it, preserve it, frame it somehow. So you have a big experience, and that means you're going to have a big poem or a big piece of writing. You have a subtle experience, and that will lead to a subtle piece of writing. Or you have a demanding, challenging experience, and that will lead to an intense or challenging piece of writing. Or a sad experience, sad piece of writing. You see the pattern. Is that how it goes? Well, not necessarily. So this is the one thing that they never really tell you about in writing. You're going to hear it here. So I won't keep you waiting any longer. What is it? What is this one thing? The thing is this. Your piece of writing is not necessarily meant to be a photograph of your experience or insight. Let me say that again. Your piece of writing is not necessarily a photograph or a snapshot of your experience. Now, first of all, you can't really capture or recreate an experience in that way. You can try to recreate something, but it's always something else when you write it. It's a fresh experience. And secondly, the writing is never limited or contained by the experience. You may be trying to capture an experience, you may think you're approaching it, but it's a different thing. And that seems to be particularly true, I find, with poetry, but it occurs across all forms of writing. Now, writing photographically is fine. There's nothing wrong with that intention. But actually, the experience or the moment, real as it is, the real character that we're remembering, they're gone. That experience is gone. That character is gone. What we're really doing is re-experiencing it. The writing is a new experience. And the old experience, the thing that we're leaning on for the writing, has disappeared. It's already left us. So the old writing experience, the thing we're trying to capture, well, that's like the speed of sound. It's already known and it's already done with. Is there something else then that a writer can do instead of trying to photograph or capture an experience in a piece of writing? Well, the good news is, yes, there is something you can do. But first I have to ask you, are you ready to be really challenged in your writing? I don't mean to the point of discomfort, but to really change your perception or to allow a change of perception to happen. Are you kind of ready for that? And are you ready or kind of ready to engage with yourself as a writer? To not just see writing as something separate that happens to you, but as something that happens in you and through you. If you're ready or kind of ready, listen on. So what we do is we take that experience into the present and we let that new experience of the writing itself really happen in the present. So instead, we trust our awareness of this moment and we explore the language that arises from that awareness. Or maybe, and here's the leap of faith, maybe we let go of that original experience. Let it hover in the background in some way, yes. Let it be there, but don't try to write about it. Don't try to write of it, in it, trapped by it. Let it be there as a presence, a presiding spirit, not to be the center of attention, but to inform what we write in the moment as we respond to the state we're actually in. So instead of writing about an experience, we're trusting the awareness of this moment, and we're exploring the language that arises from that awareness of the moment. You are instead looking at, listening to yourself in the moment of contemplation. So instead of taking impressive snapshots of your life, like a tourist taking photographs of all the key moments, you put down the camera and you step into the scene yourself. You enter that world of yourself. So there's an imagination, an exploration, a readiness. You become the landscape rather than merely witnessing the landscape. So taking a photograph of an experience is like measuring the speed of sound. It's kind of known. But using the experience to enter a new and imaginative relationship with language and yourself is asking a different question of yourself and asking a different question of language. And it's a little bit like asking, what is the speed of silence? Okay, so let's recap. Conventionally, an experience or insight leads to language or words that describe or capture that experience. That's what we normally do. But here what I'm suggesting is that experience and insight allows an opening of awareness that gives you a fresh, a new experience in words and of words. This is the other way that few writers talk about. So it means really engaging, being ready to trust in a more open relationship with your creativity in the moment. And it's accepting a degree of challenge or uncertainty, as well as comfort and predictability in your writing. So why do this? What are the benefits? There's so many. Let me just touch on a few highlights. These are examples of how you'll grow as a writer in this less predictable space. First of all, there's the freedom, pleasure, and the release as a writer and as a person. There are unexpected results, surprises, great material that you never thought you could produce because it comes from another place, rich and fluid and vibrant. And eventually, maybe you can even freewheel. You'll be able to write without needing any experience at all. Does that surprise you? To write without needing any experience? Because the writing will itself generate writing. So can you imagine not having to wait anymore for something big or exceptional to happen to you? You can write whenever you want, whenever you wish. It becomes more of a well brimming up in you. You're in a greater dialogue with that inner, deeper, richer self. Now, if you ask this deeper question of language, of experience, you will almost always get an answer. The world will rise to meet you. And the answer will be as unique as the person asking the new and unexpected question. Well, now, you can still write in the way you used to write. You can still write to capture experiences and to render them and to create a photograph of them. That's always wonderful and impressive and useful. But it won't be the only thing you do. There'll be more to you than that. There'll be this deeper undertow in your writing, something rich and wild and wonderful. You'll now have a secret gift, a writing superpower. You won't have to wear the cape, but you can if you want to. This is a way of writing, any kind of writing, poetry, prose, autobiography, fiction, plays, whatever. But it's happening in the present because of your full presence. And it's not just because of a recollection, an experience or a memory that you have a desire to recreate somehow through words. Something that's already happened. This is something fresh happening anew. This is the living, breathing creature of your writing, not the photograph in the album or museum. Those photographs can be really impressive, as I've said, but they're not for me the same thing as what we're doing here. This is a surrender rather than capture or taxidermy. But it's not passive, it's very active. It opens up infinite possibility and unexpected avenues. That's the genius of your writing awareness at its root. Now, there are so many ways of opening up this connected awareness I'm speaking about. And I thrive on working one-to-one with writers to help them get there, to help them achieve this. And there are two ways of doing that. First of all, to foster a stillness, a kind of alert consciousness, a creativity that's alive and vibrant and ready to change you, the protagonist, the writer. And also there are ways of developing apt and exciting techniques and exercises to encourage you to get there, to smooth the way. Now, if you're looking for guidance in this, and in any number of conventional ways of writing, do please visit my website. There's so much there. Or you can even enroll on my mindful mentoring program. And in that, you'll get a chance to work with me one-to-one. In the end, it's your choice. It's always our choice as writers to ask the conventional questions, the expected questions, like what is the speed of sound? Or we can be engaged in a different kind of space where we ask the unusual question, the unexpected question, the rich question, like what is the speed of silence? Good luck.